Good morning. I had a huge issue this morning. Thank you for the seven of you that are still here. Uh, me and Grant have been we've been streaming, but didn't realize that I did not click the go live button.
We said hi to everybody. I even made a slight comment the chat, you guys are awfully quiet, step it up, and then nobody said anything, and then we got a message from Nate the Shrimp Nut. Nathan really saved the day here. We could have gotten through all of it and then realized none of it was streamed. So lucky enough, that was only 18 minutes of wasted time this morning, but a lot of golden material that everybody missed there.
Yeah, so I'll just recap what I've already done. I took some fish out last night to prepare for today's stream. There was a whole bunch of hardscape in there. I'm going to pan the camera over real quick to show you everything I took out. And the BBA that's on these logs would definitely rival Jason over at Depths Unknown. So that's all
fluffy.
out of there.
It was fluffy.
Yeah, I can put it back in.
Put it back in the tank to show how fluffy it was and go back in time.
Yeah, I will in just a second. I just want to say one of the things that we did. We took out all of this Bulbitis from the tank. That is going to be going back in because Grant said that it will grow good with the Crips. It's got a similar growth rate or whatever. I took the Pothos out of the top of the tank. I'm still undecided if that's going back in or not. And now I'm going to put the wood back in that way you guys can see just how fluffy that is.
And just like a little recap, we did talk about the best way to catch the fish is to remove all the hardscape and plants. So that's what Tim's doing.
So there's all the blackbeard algae that's on here. And it's on each and every one of those pieces of wood. So that's all coming out and staying out. This tank is going to be just a utility grow out tank for mostly all Crips. I do have a new light on order. It should arrive in the next week or two. I've got a canister filter on order that should arrive next week. And I will be adding CO2 inline to the canister filter as well. I got the new light because, as you can see, my Amazon sword and Kleiner Bar sword are definitely deficient in something, whether it's nutrients or light or whatever. Even the one back here isn't doing too hot. The Crips aren't doing too hot at all. They're really small. This has been in here for at least a year, this one.
Did you move your mic back?
Yeah, the mic is back here on the table again.
Okay.
Can you hear me okay, or do you need me
to...
Yeah,
you're good.
Okay. So now I'm just going through and taking out all of the plants, and then we'll start draining some water out of there. That way I can catch the rest of the fish, get the gravel out of there, and then we'll put some real aqua soil in.
So Tim already did this, but since he's busy working and trying to catch up back to where we were, I'll go ahead and say hello to everybody for you. Mystery Snail Guardians, Fishion, Tank Ticks. Oh man, this is why Shelby does this. Jenna P, Dixie Doo, Nate the Shrimp Nut coming in with the save this morning. Nancy B, Brandon, Mary, SC, Catahulas, Shady Grady, Silver Creek Aquatics. I think that's it. Oh, Pepwin Creek Aquatics. How you guys doing this morning? But murking up the water, it's going to be hard to see those fish. You're going to start draining it and kill two birds with a stone. Yep. Kill the pump first.
What's that?
Kill the pump first?
Yep.
The water pump?
Yeah, I'm going to kill the pump and the heater.
I couldn't even see a heater.
Yeah, it's in there. It's covered in algae. No, that's the light.
So is this tank in your bedroom or?
No, this is the one in the living room.
Shady Grady asked, "Are you going to remove the substrate too?"
Yes, all of the substrates coming out. And I've got a case of Landon Aqua Soil that's going to be going in. I've got a bunch of purple mystery snails coming
Did you
out.
say Landon? I thought you had something else.
No, I got Landon. A few years ago when I was first looking into planted tanks, that's what a few people in the various aquascaping groups on Facebook had recommended, so that's what I picked up.
And Foxy Fishes and Nathan Hovey has joined us. Good morning, guys.
Good morning, guys. How you doing? Oh yeah, and I also took out a bunch of this zebra dolomite stone too. I forgot to show on camera now that I'm actually live streaming.
That one's like the nicest piece I've seen so far.
Yeah, there's a few nice pieces in here.
And Jenna said I wouldn't remove the substrate until after the fish, though. I believe Tim's going to catch the fish before he removes the substrate.
Yeah, I'm gonna do my best to catch all the fish before removing the substrate. I'm gonna use Corey's method from Aquarium Co-op, where you use a hose to just suck the substrate out. That's the plan anyway. We'll see if it works.
Oh, then if that's what you're doing, don't suck out any of the water until you caught all the fish. I'd rather catch the fish, and then I use like one of those plastic scrapers that you would use for like mud work and drywall, and I just scrape it off the bottom and put it into a bucket inside the tank. I never get all the gravel out by vacuuming it out.
It is too early in the morning to be catching fish. This is not going to work out.
You didn't get one in there already?
No. I'm definitely not in practice with catching fish. Shrimp are a lot easier.
I'm not going to lie there. Shrimp are way easier to catch because their only fast way out is backwards. How's it going, Chris George?
All right, I got one of the rainbows.
Just one?
Just one. It was one of the Avs Creek Bosamani. Switch hands.
Yeah, Shady Grady said you need a much bigger net. And Brandon says you got to say
it's
swoop
nice.
when you catch
Fairly
the fish. There you go, swoop. There it is. All right, so try placing the black net down on like one of the sides of the tanks, like right up against the glass, and then use the white net to corral all the fish from one side into another corner, and then get them to chase down the side of the net and then swoop up like you're trying to use a big lettuce tongs to toss the salad, and then you get hopefully caught a few. But like restart, regroup, get the net back and situated, and then corral everything again. You should be able to get like 2 or 3 of them at a time. You more or less got to chase the fish closer and then pull up faster. But this is also why I drain out almost all the water in the tank. You could also drain out most of the water in the aquarium and then fill it back up. And as you're filling it, you can drain it to suck up all the gravel.
Yeah, I'm going to drain a little more water out. Less water, less spots for them to swim to, right?
Yeah, it's also a really deep 75-gallon tank. So is that the 4-foot 75-gallon tank?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that thing's deeper than a 40-gallon, ain't it?
I'm not sure. I've never had a 40. Yeah, catching fish is definitely the worst. I'm never gonna open a fish store.
You
I open a store,
get
it's gonna
better
be
at it.
stinking smells like-
The more practice you get, you learn like just how to swoop the net, even like collecting out in the wild.
Deciding to do this on a live stream definitely wasn't my brightest idea either. Seeing I'm no good at catching the fish.
Yeah, it's a little tedious.
Should I just take the substrate out, which is going to lower the level even more? I could get it to like an inch of water down here, enough for them to swim. Probably a little quicker. Maybe.
What was that? I'm sorry. I'm trying to get the logo thing figured out for the American Shrimp Contest.
Oh. Should I just start taking the substrate out, which will lower the water level more since I'll be vacuuming it out?
Honestly, you run the risk of like sucking up fish that way because it's gonna make the tank really dirty.
Oh, okay. I do have it going into a bucket outside just in case that happened. Yeah, let me see. Coolie Loach is going to give me an issue, I think.
Sorry, I'm not being a really good co-host. I'm trying to.
Oh, that's all right.
We got 1 month before the the American Shrimp Contest in Daytona. So I'm just trying to tidy up some last minute things so that way we can get the sponsors announced, get the judges announced, and then start promoting to really get a lot of entries in for this contest.
Is that going to be the same logo that you had last year or similar, or is it all new artwork?
So the logo that we had before for the American Shrimp Contest is a prawn. And
okay.
yeah, it just makes no sense. And then the banner that they gave us was a wild type shrimp, and you can't have wild type. So I'm like, well, this is just not professional at all. And they agreed, and Sam was there, and Sam's like, yeah, you guys can't have a prawn. I'll take care of it. And that was my best impersonation of a Sam voice I could ever do. It's not going to get better than that. Yeah, the man's just busy. He does 10,000 more shows than I do, and he does a lot of artwork, not just for the logos. So
yeah, he's constantly traveling. I see all the time he's posting up. Oh, I'm over on this side of the country today.
yeah, he does fishing, actual like rod and reel fishing shows, and he does a lot of the reptile shows, and he does all the shows on East and West Coast. And I just kind of hit Central and East Coast for the most part. There's nothing on the West Coast that we've ever even traveled to do. As far as like Colorado, I think is the furthest we've gone. Yeah, the man like barely ever sleeps. So we're just trying to touch up a few things here and there before we just decide to go with the t-shirt design or not. Nathan says, I like to put the catch net about 6 inches into the corner and push the fish into that corner. It's not a bad idea. And then Nate said, just toss a bass in there for 10 minutes or so. Nathan says, Seachem makes some pretty nice nets. I just picked up a 5-inch, but the handle is solid metal and 16 inches long. The mesh is not like the nets at Walmart. It's smoother and finer. That's weird because I saw the Seachem nets at one of the shows recently, and it was like a, I don't know, cheaper version of the Nairly nets that just recently came out, or JBJ, I think it is. Not the Nairly, same company, honestly. And like they were obviously like cheaper versions of it, but they weren't metal at all. So I don't think I've seen any of the metal Seachem nets. Gotta check those out. Hopefully I have them at the next show. Nathan Hoovy said, Grant, have him put the black net closer to the corner in the right. Use the white net to push him over. Reiterating, they're watching you struggle.
Yeah.
Struggling to multitask. Jenna says, I also try to corral fish to the front corner and then try to get my net flat against the side when I have a fish and then pull up quickly. Foxy says, we lower the water level to about 1 inch or 2. That's what we do to catch the fish out of the tank like this. The other thing is like at nighttime, at 4 o'clock in the morning, you just use a little flashlight and you can just snipe the fish. Like that's what I like to do for orders. Or if I'm trying to catch fish from the ponds outside, I almost always do it at nighttime because I can just snipe them off the top of the water. And then Foxy said you can put a net over the siphon if you're afraid of sucking up any of the fish. But we were talking about sucking up the gravel, and that's when I'd be worried about sucking up a pleco or whatnot. The plecos are still in there too?
Yeah, some of them are. There's not as many left in here as I thought. I'm thinking the Odessa barb, the one random Odessa barb that I've got has been a little bit snacky.
That's surprising because all the barbs, the bones, I mean.
I'm not sure. I'm only seeing maybe about 8 or so down here still.
Nathan said, I wish we could comment a voice clip. And then Vinosky joined us. How's it going? Shelby's joined us. Shelby's not here today because she's at work. Shady Grady says, I rescue tanks and the fish and plants nearly every week in my... Oh, okay. I rescue tanks and fish and plants nearly every week in my area. I can't read. The water is best to be 2-inch deep, not 10 inches. Yeah, so like that's what I was saying, Crip. I think the amount of work that you're going to put into catching the fish is going to be more work than getting all the gravel out. Corey's method might be like easier if you fill the tank back up with water and then drain it out. I do like Corey's method of graveling up, siphoning up all the gravel, because it doesn't scratch the tank as much. But like, who cares about the bottom glass for the most part? So I just scrape that sucker off. What's up, the Whizzle? Cleaning pools. It's not something I miss. Maybe this time of the year wouldn't be that bad, but even when it's cold out, you get cold socks, cold feet. It's not fun. I catch fish with it totally scraped by placing the net in the corner and using the other to push them into it. Yeah. Shady Grady said Sam did a great job with your lemon head shrimp. He did as the end result. I was not happy with it. And then Sam expressed to me it's very hard to paint clear. But I was just like, yeah, it just looks like a black and orange shrimp. We got to do better. And then he watched some videos on how to paint clear. And I guess the lemon head is his first at doing that, and it came out really nice. Nathan says, Grant, tell Tim to put black net in the corner 6 inches and push fish with the white one to that corner. I guess you're not listening, Tim. You got to try it.
I'm draining the water down. I can fill it back up with water to get the gravel out.
Yeah, I think that's the best method. I think we're all learning in real time here.
Yeah, I think I'm just trying too hard with how tall the tank is. They have way too much wiggle room to go around.
And it's so wide, too. It's not like a skinny 55. So
right.
They've got juke room. And I was impressed how you got your siphon started. For those that didn't see, Tim pushed the entire hose in there to fill up the hose. And then did you put your finger on the end of the hose and then pulled out the other end?
No, I just kind of flung it out of the tank quicker than the water could escape from that section of hose, and it started right up.
Next time, if you just put your thumb on the hose, you don't have to be so vicious with it, and it still gets up and running. And then, like, I don't know if you have a clamp or something that you could put on the hose. You could keep the water actually in the hose, and then you don't have to ever really get it started or going again. Brandon said, hey, Grant and Tim, have you seen HWA Innovation Shrimp? They call it a lava tiger. No, I've not seen the lava tigers. Have you, Tim?
No, I haven't.
I'm really not on like the shrimp groups like I used to be on Facebook. I just don't have the time. So I don't see a lot of the new innovative shrimp that come out until somebody else like sends me a picture and then asks me like, how do you make this? And then I'm like, oh, well, let me think about it for a minute. SC said, I think C-Chem and JBJ nets are the same. They look almost the same, but I'm telling you, if you bend the handles on the two of them, the JBJ ones are sturdier, and I don't want to throw somebody under the bus, but there was somebody that agreed with me at one of the last shows. Just don't want to throw them under the bus. How's it going, Daniel? I don't think I said hi to Daniel. Yeah, I didn't say hi. How's it going? Good morning. So are we watering your garden bed right now?
No, I've got it going outside the window into a bucket just in case any fish did get trapped in the hose. That way I can still go retrieve them after the water clears up enough to see.
All right, now repeat what you just said into the mic.
I've got the hose going outside the window into a bucket just in case any of the fish do go inside the hose. That way I can retrieve them after the water clears up in the bucket.
You could, like Foxy said, just put the net around the end of the hose to prevent any of the fish from getting stuck up in there.
Yeah, the fish are pretty much all bigger than the hose anyhow, and I've been watching it pretty carefully.
It's not really a problem right now, but once you get to an inch of water, then like an inch or two of water, then the fish really start to freak out, and they start to find the flow current, and then they'll actually want to swim into the net. It really depends on the species of fish. Dania, like our Galaxy Rasboras, those are like infinite for like finding out where the hose is and trying to go through the line. Yeah. And you really just don't got to worry about it. The other thing you need is like a clamp so you don't got to hold the hose in there.
Yeah, all my clamps are upstairs and down in the basement.
Yeah. Once you get it going, it's hard to find a clamp.
Yep.
I
I definitely wasn't prepared for the stream today, I don't think. I forgot the live button.
Well, you had a doctor's appointment this morning, so
yeah.
you got a lot going on. You missed the stream 18 minutes into it. Didn't even hit the stream live. It's all good, man.
Yeah, I'm a hot mess today.
I almost wore the same shirt as you, but we did end up wearing the same hat. I just now noticed that. Nathan says, I used to do the same with the hose, but use a Python system nowadays. Only issue I see with it's a generic brand, and I wish it was a bigger hose for faster siphoning. Yeah, the Python method works great. I like to drain the whole house into the pool, so I don't like to waste it down the sink. Or at least the best thing is water in some of the garden bed with it or something like that. So, but what I was going to say is Home Depot sells like a bag of mixed size plastic clamps. I like to use the plastic clamps rather than the heavy duty metal ones, just because I'm worried about it cracking the glass if the hose were to shift or something like that. And I never had any of the plastic clamps scratch up the glass or anything like that. So anytime I'm like, I can't find a clamp, I just go to Home Depot and I buy a bag of them. And then I find all of them. It's magical.
Yep. Yeah, all of my clamps have the little rubber ends on them that swivel and stuff. So it makes it really easy to clamp hoses.
Yeah.
I just wasn't thinking straight and didn't bring any downstairs. It's all right. We're almost a better spot to catch all these, hopefully.
And then Nate said, off-topic question, but does Sam ever paint multiple shrimp on the same painting? Not that I know of. I think I've seen all of Sam's paints, but I've never seen one with like a colony shot.
It would be cool if he did some paintings of like showing each of the different Taiwan bees on one picture, and then each of the different tigers on one, each of the different crystals on one. You know, just to kind of have the whole family represented on one illustration.
Yeah, Shady Grady said, my killifish and dwarf cories love swimming up the hose. They love the flow. So, yeah, that's like what I was worrying about with the cories. They might not know there's any flow going on right now, but once that water level drops, there's definitely going to be a little bit of current going in there that they can feel, and then they'll be like, oh, it's season. Let's go to the new home. So they definitely get that instinct and try to head up the hose.
Yeah.
Shady said the tank must be getting lower because your voice is echoing. I didn't notice that.
I'm echoing?
Not really. If anything, it's when you're in the tank talking.
Oh, okay. So I'll try to stop doing that.
I really don't hear it. Shady says he hears it. I don't. So.
All right.
But my hearing's also horrible, so I'm lucky that I hear you once. Looks like we'll have the new logo for the shrimp contest done by tomorrow. So that's a little bit of ease. And then I'm going to send Sam the request for multiple shrimp.
All right, this should be good enough for now.
All right. Then I'm sorry. Nathan said Richard picked up some of Sam's paintings, and man, y'all think they look good on camera. You should see them in person. One was a peacock bass, and man, it was amazing. Yeah, Sam definitely does some really nice artwork. We have some of Sam's prints available on our website now. And then any of the shows that we go to that Sam doesn't go to, I do have a couple of pieces of his artwork that we do try and sell off for him. So I love the ones where he puts the plant life into them, like the angels. He's got 2 angel prints with, I think one of them's got Valsinaria and the other one has some lilies in them. And they're 2 of my favorite prints that Sam did. Zoltan's Aquatics. Good morning. So are you done draining water? Is the water still draining?
Yeah, I'm done draining the water for now. They're definitely catching a lot easier.
All right. And Mimic Nature. I'm late to the party. Is it just open discussion while Tim escapes? Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Ask away.
You guys feel free to make fun of me. I'm horrible at catching fish.
They're a lot harder to catch than the Crips, huh?
Definitely.
Why are you always yelling? Good morning. Are you guys aware of the time? Go back to bed. It's too early. Well, it's almost 11 here. And yeah, I am not tired at all. And then I see somebody said Sam with a heart. Is Sam here? Or is why are you always yelling? Is their name Sam? That's probably what it is.
Weiwei's name is Sam.
Makes sense. Shady Grady said, sorry, 11 o'clock meeting. Probably means he's heading out. Hopefully the meeting is not that boring. And Grant, sorry I've been missing your lives. Kids' school schedule. Changed my schedule. Oh, no worries. That's why I like to set up the live streams and the content. You can watch them back if it's a topic that you're really interested in. If not, no real need to watch them. I think we got enough watch time hours and stuff like that. So Jenna said most work meetings are pretty boring. Yeah, that's why I'm like, I hope it's not that boring. So I'm not in an office. My dog's just looking at me all upset and sad that I'm not doing things around the house so he can follow me all day. He doesn't know what to do with himself. He's just all sad and like, dude, are we going to do anything today? I would really enjoy just like walking around outside and following you around. And then he's the same guy that, you know, you shut the door behind him, he lets out this cry, a scream of desperation. He's deaf, so he can't hear. He doesn't know what he sounds like, but he would make a great man. I don't know what those people are called that like film noises for like Star Wars and stuff like that. Sound effects. You got it, man. And then he snores constantly because he's got that bulldog nose. And Shelby's like, such karma that you got this dog that snores all the time because you hate snoring dogs. I hated her little pug that snored like, I don't know, Chihuahuas, pugs, all those little tiny dogs. They all have just really annoying little snores, but he sounds like a bear. It makes you feel like you're living in a cave. It's a lot different. Nathan says, depends on the type of meeting for me. Most of them mean I'm going to be making more money, so I'm happy to have the meeting. Yeah, that's seeing the silver linings. Most people don't have that mentality to take things into consideration like that. So, Zen Ginger, good morning. Tim and Grant lurking. Hope everyone is well.
Good morning. How you doing?
And Nate said, "Oh, poor shrimp, laugh out loud. Seems like a really cool dog." Yeah, he is. He's just my shadow. He just always follows me around.
Okay, I've got both of the Coolie Loach. Those were what I thought would be the most difficult part. I think
my favorite way to catch the Coolie Loaches is to turn on the lights at 4:00 in the morning and watch them scream like lightning bolts, and then just put the net in front of them and watch them swim into it.
Yeah,
Try catching them during
one
the
more
day.
Cory cat in here somewhere.
You got a what?
I think there's one more Cory cat in here somewhere, and I think that might be it.
I thought you were gonna say like armored cat or walking cat. And I'm like, what do you mean you got one of those in there?
Here's a little Plucko.
So what substrate was that before? Like a mix of pea gravel and like some black gravel?
It's just a mix of sand, pea gravel. I think there's some crushed coral in here. It's just a bunch of leftover stuff from other projects I had going.
What's the black bits then?
Oh, those black bits? That's blackbeard algae.
Really? All right. So it is. I can see it now. You didn't have to pull it all the way out. Once you moved it, I saw it fluff up, and I'm like, oh.
Yep.
All right.
There is some botanicals in here as well.
For just a hot second, I thought you were going to say aquachar.
I don't think there's any aquachar in here. I do have a bag up in the filter of aquachar.
Brandon says, has anyone been spiked by a pleco? I thought I could grab a bushy nose and then it flung its head into my hand. We have over 12-inch long common plecos out in the ponds outside, and I've definitely stepped on the top of one of those. It did not feel good at all. And Foxy said Jason would be proud of that blackbeard algae.
Did Foxy see the blackbeard algae on the driftwood earlier?
I don't know.
Oh, I got a fish
Fish
jumped
Fam
out.
Link decided to make an appearance this morning. Good morning.
Yeah, so rainbow fish do jump.
Oh, you got one out of the bucket?
Yep, I already got them back in.
Yeah, rainbow fish and shellies were the two of them that when catching, I would have to bag them up or put another cup over the top of it to stop them from getting out. Foxy 7, rainbow birds. Rainbow fish believe they're birds. So how many fish do you think you got left?
I know I see a Cory in here and a couple of the baby plecos still, the juvies.
It said, I lost 3 rainbows from jumping out of the bucket. I was so mad at myself for not covering it. Yeah, you don't think that they'll jump out of the bucket or cups when they don't jump out of the tanks. So I think I'm going to try and spawn and get the Praecox to breed. Take the discus out of the tank, hack out all the plants, and then throw a spawning mop. They're definitely acting like they're putting on breeding behaviors like almost all day.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do with the ones that I got from you, but they would not use the spawn mop for me at all. And so that's why I decided to get a whole bunch of different types of rainbows in here.
I also think I have a ton of males, so I might have to just take out a couple females and a male and put them into a different tank by themselves. Some of them are quite burly and robust in size. I didn't think they'd get that big, them being dwarf neon rainbows.
Yeah, I told you when you first send them up to me, they'll get like 3-4 inches or so.
And then Fish Fam Link said the mantis shrimp can see 10 times more color than a human, including ultraviolet light. Yeah, I think.
Oh, is that a third coolie loach that I didn't know I still had?
I think we see like 28 different colors, and they can see like 280. And then Nate said, been stuck by a striped Raphael, little Dinosaurus, and that burned pretty hard. Foxy said, never got stabbed by a fish. The axolotls like to chew on my hands while I'm cleaning their tanks, though. The big ones twist like a pinch, not too bad. They do like the gator roll. I've never had my axolotls do that to me. That's funny. Nathan said, I'm going to try breeding my cherry barbs. All the stores in my area never have nice cherry barbs. My males are super colored up, almost like super reds. Check out Jason from Primetime Aquatics. He did a cherry barb video at my buddy's house, Dane, and he does like a little container basket in a bucket with an aerator stone, and they kind of lay their eggs. The eggs fall through, and then he raises them up in the buckets, I believe. But definitely easy enough to do. And there's not a lot of people that do it. So, and then back to the whole barb and being stabbed by fish thing. We were fishing a couple years back, and Layla sat down on a barb of a stingray. And because it has the barbels on it, when you pull it out, it actually hurts worse than when it goes in. It wasn't.
I bet that felt almost like a fishing hook if you were to pull that backwards.
Yeah, I've had them like poke me, but never actually stab me like it happened to her.
Okay, I think I've got all of them out of here now. I think. I hope. I see another small little one back there. Okay, I think that's it. So let me get the hose connected and get this filled back up enough to be able to get the gravel out. And I will be right back.
And then, anybody got any questions or suggestions or anything like that in chat? I can help you guys ask Tim those questions. And then Foxy said they'll do the roll if they think it's a big worm, like my finger. Otherwise, it's just the kill it shake. Mine never really even like do that. Our axolotls just kind of like gulp, like swallow it, and then just sit there like fat lazy lards. Like they don't do any cool instinct. Maybe I would just derpy axolotls. Yours sound like they're a lot of fun to watch. Mimic says, I got hit by a tiny saltwater catfish off a pier one night. Worst fish sting I've ever experienced. And Daniel said, about 20 years ago, I ordered live rock via mail. It had a mantis shrimp hidden in it. I found it about 6 months later by surprise. 2 stitches were involved in that surprise. He was evicted. What did a mantis shrimp do to you? I've never heard of somebody getting injured by a mantis shrimp. Mimic says, what's Tim's plans for the tank? So pretty much he's gutting the tank. He's going to restart it with fresh substrate, apply CO2 to the tank, and he's going to use this as a crypt farm out tank. He pulled out some bulbitis earlier, and I said that would also be a good plant if you wanted to farm that. The demand for bulbitis is really high. It's not a really fast growing plant. It's not even one that I can really get from any of our nurseries down here, so it's not being commercially farmed. You could definitely put a little patch of bulbitis in like the corner on some wood or something like that and grow it, and definitely until the crypts fill out the tank. But he should be selling the crypts out of that tank. I'll be buying some of them off of him. We'll be selling them together at shows and stuff like that. So hopefully his tank doesn't get overcrowded with crypts, but if it does, it's never really a bad thing. There's always somebody out there who would be looking for a bulk or a good deal on some crypts to start up a nice farm tank, or not farm tank, planted tank. Zoltan said, would you attempt to leave an outdoor tub up in winter if I have a heater? Yeah, I would if it's shrimp. Yeah, as long as the tub doesn't freeze over, I would keep them outside all year round. It's just that electricity bill to keep 70 ponds frozen that I'm happy I'm in Florida and not up north. Grant, have you been to any of the fish shops when you come down to Richards? No, I haven't been to any fish stores south of Tampa. If you have any that you'd recommend, I'd be willing to check them out. I know here in Florida, there's like 2 or 3 nice pet stores, but other than that, the rest of them are just not up to par. Certainly not on the level that I saw the Fish Gallery in Texas, or a lot of the stores in Chicago, a lot of the stores in Pennsylvania, even the aquamarine or aquatic marine that we went to in Tennessee was above anything that we have down here in Florida. And a big reason for that is because anyone that has the passion, the desire that's in the hobby, a lot of them end up being fish farms, fish breeders, rather than pet stores. Just because of the environment, it just makes a lot more sense to a lot more people. The overhang and cost, employees and all that stuff can kind of shy people away down here when you can just set up a bunch of ponds and be involved and immersed in the hobby. So, but if you had something to recommend, I'd probably be spending my birthday in December down in South Florida. And then also we're doing the expo at the end of the month in Coral Springs, Florida. But I don't think I'll have any time to go exploring. I know for sure I'm going to spend one night where I get no sleep and go collecting out in the glades. But
That's not.
I don't think I have time for anything else. So what are you doing now, Crip?
So the clamps that I have are not wide enough to fit over this rim and this big hose. The Python.
The 75-gallon rim is bigger than what you're used to?
Yeah. I usually use these here for my 10-gallon tanks with the smaller hose.
Yeah. So that's what I started with. And then I went to Home Depot because I was trying to find that exact clip that you held up. That works perfectly for like 10, 20s and most of the size hoses. But I do have a next size up for when I do the bigger tanks for sure. And that's why I like that little bag at Home Depot. It comes with all sizes and then even some little smaller clips that I like to use for airline when I'm drip acclimating and stuff. Even though I don't do that too often anymore, it happens every now and then. Like I got some shrimp at the Keystone Clash.
Yep. So I'm going to run outside and turn the hose on. I've got the lid on the tank with a piece of driftwood on top to kind of hold it. Yell as loud as you can if that hose pops out.
Just go slow. Turn it on very slowly and don't just go straight to full blast because I've seen the clamps pop off and then we'll be flooding your living room.
Yep. All right. But yeah, yell as loud as you can if it pops out of there.
I'll do that. So Mimic asks, what substrate is he planning on using? I believe he said Landon. I think that's what he's using. So I'm going to watch and pay attention to the hose before I read Foxy's comment. Saw some bubbles come up. He probably just stepped on the hose on the way to the spigot. That'll happen. Did he get all the fish out? I cannot multitask. This is why I have to have Shelby on my streams. I can't pay attention to what's going on in the stream and chat at the same time. I think I see water coming out of the hose, though. So he should be on his way back now. I think we're good. Foxy said, what's that?
I'm back.
Did you bring the mic with you outside?
No.
Oh.
I set it over here while I was talking in the doorway, asking you to yell at me.
All right. I was like, man, he brought it all the way outside to keep up communication. I didn't know it was wireless, too. He got a new mic. That's why we can hear him so well this week. So Foxy said, I raised the Warren of 157 axes together. They have been split down to Warrens of 6 now. Only 30 left. They have a pack mentality and a hierarchy in their Warrens. Their behavior is different in a group. We have like 3 of them in a 40-gallon tank, but I don't know how many you have. You have the 6. I don't know what size tank you have them in. I just never seen that. Daniel said it slashed my finger while rearranging rocks. Did not hurt at first, but saw blood and water. Had been hiding all that time. You're probably chumming the water, getting some shark bites. All right, so here we go. We've got Crip siphoning up the water. You got the hose still going at the same time?
Yes, I do.
All right.
I've got one hose going in, and this one here is siphoning out, and it just clogged up.
It clogged?
Yep.
I don't know if you have a big enough hose to do this method. Mine would get clogged, and then I would have to shake the living crap out of it, and then I gave up and then started siphoning it up or scooping it out.
Yeah, I think that's the problem I'm going to run into.
Yeah. We're learning.
This easier.
We're learning together, Tim.
Yeah. This is the first time I've ever done this method where I use a hose. I've seen it on Aquarium Co-op's channel and thought it was brilliant.
It either had smaller gravel or a bigger hose.
Yeah, and I've got all different sizes of gravel in here, so it's very possible it's all packed in.
And what I find is that you have to get the hose as straight as humanly possible. Oh, I saw a little.
Yeah, the water pressure isn't even gonna bust that open.
Yeah. Do you have like maybe a kink in the hose? That's what I was trying to say. Is you have to have the hose as straight as possible, even when it hits the ground. If it's coming straight out of the window and does like a 90-degree turn, that's where all of your debris got caught up in. So if you could like use a bucket to kind of get it like a straight pipe out, that's like your best bet.
Oh, okay.
Missa just got into work, lurking. Nice of you to join us. What size heater would be required for a 175-gallon outdoor tub? I'm not exactly sure what wattage. Most heaters have the size tank that they could use on the actual packaging themselves. CJ just came out with a new heater that is voice activated, so you could control it, turn it off, everything like that without actually having to touch anything. I think it has to be used in conjunction with your phone. I'm not sure on that exactly. I like Cobalt heaters. They are just tried and true. Not a lot of issues or people complaining about them. The reviews seem to be better. I see a Pleco still, Crip. You see him?
Yep.
Oh, no, he didn't just grab that barehanded like that.
That was a lot closer than the net. And that's all the way over here.
Nate says, I think some of the BR Rotala I got from Tim would look nice tucked in the corner of that tank.
No, I am not putting Rotalas in here. I'm done with stem plants.
Why is that?
Oh, because they are an absolute nightmare. Too much maintenance. I can't keep up with them.
Yeah, no, they are.
They look beautiful, but
I like
just
my
don't have
stem
the
plants that
time
are
for 'em.
bushing up at the top, and everybody wants them to bush at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So they're a lot of maintenance. I'm not fond of them either.
I love
I
the
do
way
want
they
to
look.
do like a
though. I
nice
just don't have
planted
the-
Dutch style aquarium one day just to say I've done it and like run it for a year and then be like, I don't want to do it no more.
Yep. I almost had that going on with the Caradina cull tank for a while. All the Rotalas I had in that one. I don't know if you recall that.
Yeah, I still have some of your HRA Rotala.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I've got a little sample of the Atra, the Rotundifolia, and the blood red Rotala that I had in that tank, but I'm not actively trying to propagate it or make it look nice or anything. I'm just keeping a small sample just in case I decide to get back into them in the future.
How's it going, Mexicali Fish Keeper? And you're using Landon substrate, right?
Yes.
Black or brown?
I believe I got the black.
I didn't even know they had brown. Zoltan said it had just got the new the brown version of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just whatever Amazon had.
And Zoltan said you need to just scoop it out, Tim.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to. I'm done fiddling with this.
Hey, Zoltan said you need a bigger hose for that job.
Yeah, bigger
Nancy
hose.
said, always nice to try new things live on air. So are you filling the tank back up again? Oh, okay.
It was just to have enough water to be able to do that hose trick, but that wasn't working, so I'm going to have to just take it all out by buckets.
So what I would do though before you start scraping out the gravel is I would make yourself a clean corner of the tank, push all the gravel away, and then drain out all the water. If you try to scrape out all of that substrate with the water in there, you're going to make a sloshy, muddy mess all over your living room.
Oh, okay. Let me run outside and turn that hose off real quick.
Yep.
Be right back.
Brandon said use a square container to pick up the gravel. Skull says I use a dustpan. A dustpan is also a really good idea. Nathan said I'm not a coffee drinker. Mexicali honestly don't drink either, but I don't know why I'm reading this. I wasn't part of that conversation. I didn't read your coffee. I need to learn how to make Mountain Dew logo. Oh, logo. Because that's my jam. Reefing and Adventures with Steve. How's it going?
What's up, Steve? How you doing?
And Dixie Doo said you did much better at catching the fish with your bare hands. I was a surprise. I couldn't believe you got it like that. Zen Ginger said, if I had just one tank, stems wouldn't be such a pain. But when you can't maintain each tank each day, stuff gets out of hand, especially with CO2. Yeah, I believe that. That's why I don't want to run CO2. I'd have moss just pouring out the sides of my aquariums, I think, if we use CO2. Coro said I got up early enough to catch a stream. It is also a long stream.
Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and scoop all that stuff out. What was your suggestion to make it less messy?
So what I do is I push all of the gravel away from one of the corners, and then I siphon all the water out, because if you push all the gravel out of the way, you can basically get 99% of the water out. You'll never get all of it, but that's my way to get it the best. And Jenna said, back from my meeting, did Tim catch all the fish? Yeah, all the fish are caught. We are now working on the gravel situation. Oh, there's still plants in there, Tim.
A couple small little pieces that I'm not worried about. I'm not sure exactly what variety crypts they are, so.
That looked like a sword.
No, I took all the swords out already.
All right.
I promise the second half of the stream's going to go a lot quicker when I put the gravel in and the plants. That won't take me long at all.
So you already have plants ready?
What's that?
You already have plants ready to go?
Yep. Yeah, I stopped at Eddie's Aquarium Center out near Albany, New York, and I got a few, 2 different types of crypts. 3 of them are in a pot, 3 of them are not, and both of them I've never had before, so they're going to be going in here. It's Wassilii and Lusteriana.
Never heard of those. What kind of
I've
pots
heard
are
of them.
they?
I've just never kept them before.
Oh. Were those the ones in pots?
The Wassilii is in pots. The other one is bare root.
Do you know what kind of pots they are?
Just regular nursery pots.
The same ones that you had?
Yeah, similar type of pot. Yep. They're not going to be staying in the pots. I'm taking them out.
No, I
Or
was
the
just
food
curious
truck is down.
because so the pots that you have, the tags, they're all waterscape tags. So that's the nursery that they come from.
Oh, okay.
Dan has slightly different tags, but the same kind of pots. They all use like the same rockwool media and stuff like that. And then Tropica, they have the orange pots. So
Oh, all right. Yeah, I can grab those in a second. They're behind the computer here, and I'll show you what they look like.
do you push the gravel away from the corner?
The gravel's all on this side here
Oh,
for
okay.
the most part.
Is it draining?
Yep.
It's just weird. It doesn't look like there's water in the hose. The tank water is black, and then it looks like the water in the hose is crystal clear.
I think it's just because of how deep the tank is. It makes it look a lot cloudier because you're looking through a lot more particulates.
Nathan said, "How dare you throw plants away, Tim?" Foxy says, "Signs of a true fish keeper. We bought couches for when Kelly Foreman comes to visit next week. We'll go out to the shop after the visit. Can't be blocking tanks." That's funny. We have the one couch right here, and it blocks 9 10-gallon tanks underneath. So I have to move it every single time I want to feed or do water changes or anything like that. But we need at least a couch in the house to do live streams and be able to sit down once in a while. Zen Ginger said, "The first 3 trimmings I tried to save plants, but I quickly ran out of room to plant them, so they get thrown away now. I feed mine to the koi and goldfish. Or I just bring them to one of our plant club meetings or fish club meetings." How's it going, Alla Sean? Hope you're not falling asleep again this morning with this stream. Mimic said, "Can a GH of 10 cause molting issues for Neos? Not sure how it got that high, but I've seen a couple of the juvies in my Orange Really tank having trouble molting, and the GH is the only odd parameter. No, 10 GH isn't really that big of an issue. I'd be more worried about oxygen and diet at that point if you're still having issues."
Yeah, the GH in my tap water is 17, and my Neos are molting just fine.
Yeah, honestly, GH over 5 is fine. It doesn't matter how high it gets.
Yep. With those tanks that are running the tap water with the GH so high, I'm not feeding the mineral-rich foods quite as often to kind of counterbalance that a little bit.
How are the Tangerine Tigers holding up?
They're doing great so far.
Did the other ones you tried drop like flies? Or
yeah, the other ones that I had, I put like 100 of them in the tank at the same time, so that could have been a contributing factor to it. They came from Caradina parameters going to my tap water, so that's a huge jump in water hardness there. So that could have done it. But I lost like half the colony in one day, and then within a day or two, the rest of it all just collapsed.
And Zen Ginger said, "I have one fancy goldfish. She can't even take care of all the duckweed." Yeah, I throw all my duckweed into a muck bucket that has all of our derpy koi fish, goldfish hybrids in it. Don't have a lot of them in there, so the duckweed is definitely taken over now. Alishon said, "Nah, nap time is in the afternoon. We're 30 minutes away from that, though."
Yeah, we've been going for a lot longer than I thought it would take just to get the tank emptied. I'm so sorry about that.
It seems like it's draining a lot slower.
Yeah, before I was draining with the garden hose, but that's all clogged up now. So
It's completely clogged. You couldn't get it out at all.
no, there was like no pressure at all coming through.
So you know,
After
like
I did it the third time.
you know, those strongman competitions with the ropes, where
Yep.
they do it and they make the ropes go like that.
Yep.
Go outside and do that with the hose, and you'll just watch all the gravel fly out, and then you could restart it. But
It's like a 30-foot section of hose.
yeah, that's what I'm
small
saying.
garden
You
hose
gotta
like
really
that.
channel your inner strongman when you do it. But yeah.
Sorry, this shouldn't take too awful long, I hope.
MC Aquatics, how are you doing? There's the M and C Aquatics. Do you have to say the and?
Hey, M&C, how you doing?
They said, I was heartbroken when he said all the TT died on them. The colony they came from are still 300 plus strong. Yeah, they don't do too well if one of them dies off and it starts a ammonia spike. So it could have been like a chain reaction from just a couple of the shrimp not really doing well. Are you 2 for 2 on catching them by
No,
hand?
he's stuck to the glass. He won't release into my hand. There we go.
So now you're doing one bucket at a time?
Yeah. Yep.
You can't get that hose out of the window?
No, it's only a real short hose. I don't think it'll reach. Maybe.
Nathan said, Zoltan, that's pretty much how I do it, but it always goes straight again. I have it tucked behind a big piece of wood, though, so maybe it doesn't have the space to push out. Nathan then said, I'm going to have to play around and see what I can get it to do now, though. The Mimic said, my orange Rillies eat a broad selection of food. What foods would you specifically help with molting issues? So there's two things that could happen. One, you're feeding too much protein and they're not being able to gain enough mineral content to replace the shells fast enough. So it's really important that you use a good variety of different foods. It could be two things: you're feeding too much mineral and protein foods, or you're feeding too much vegetable, not a lot of protein or any mineral content to them. The soy ahoy, the soybeans, the bee's knees, they don't have a lot of mineral contact to them. If you're feeding spinach and stuff, yeah, it has a little bit of protein, but not nearly as much as you get out of adding like the shrimp envy foods and stuff like that.
Hey, Grant. I'm almost wondering if we could take a break and start a new stream up in like an hour or two after it's all emptied out.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. We can do that.
That way I'm not wasting everyone's time for too long this morning. I feel really guilty about all these hiccups I've had today.
No. You're good. It's learning in the process. It helps out a lot.
Yeah, yep.
But you got to end it. I can't end it from here.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming up here, Grant. Thank you to all my mods today. Thank you for everyone for waking up early and dealing with me this early, messing up so badly. I'll get another stream up very shortly once this is all emptied out and I'm ready to actually start filling it. All right. See you guys in a little bit.